Hey guys, hope you all are doing well and welcome to Vitester again. I'm your host Ankur Tyagi. As part of this tech episode, we will going to cover Cypress folder structure and basic Cypress commands, how Cypress we can invoke test cases in Cypress, like basically Cypress run and Cypress open command. And also we will run our first test case and then we will refactor the same. So quickly, I'll jump to the basically agenda for today's episode. You can see we'll have a look how spec files and test will look into this spec.js, and we'll have some deep look on package.json file and the rest of the agenda which I just talked about. So let me just quickly do the one tab, and this was my episode. Then yeah, so quickly I'll recap about the GitHub repo. I hope you guys have cloned this GitHub repo and kind of have a rough look. If I go down again, so this was the stuff which we covered in last video, and then today's episode will cover from this start. So again, if I go to the deck, uh, yeah, so this is the stuff like Cypress folder structure, writing test documentation, and what are our basic commands like Cypress contains, two ways to run Cypress test, and where you can see your screenshots and video recordings. And yeah, this is yeah, so these are the stuffs. So quickly, if I go towards my Visual Studio Code, so you can see I have already opened that integration folder, and under that you can see this is the basic uh, folder you have, and under that you can see this spec files. So if I just maximize the view, so you can have a look like this is the if block, and under that there are three commands which we have written in this test, and we'll come back to this. This is our first test case which we will run. So quickly, what I can do, let first run this test. And I hope you remember to work on these workshops. First of all, we need to start our npm server. So I'll just quickly go to MVC and then npm start. Okay, so this will. Oh, so something is wrong. Cannot bind the port. Please pay by another port. Okay. I think I have already opened the ports. That's why it's asking me to reuse that one. So let me just quickly close everything and again restart the one. Okay. Yes. So let me just kill all these. Yeah, so now we are good. This is the server which we have started. So if I check my, yes, so our to-do app is up and running. Okay, now if I want to run the test case, so then again new terminal, and our command is like npm run cy.open. So if I, so this is the command, and if I go back to this package.json, so you can have a look again that script tag, right? So you can see these are the two commands. We will gonna have a deeper look today on these two commands. So meanwhile our Cypress test dashboard is coming up. Okay, so this time it's quick. So you can see all the, if I just quickly run this test case, then later on we will refactor this one. Okay, so let me just run this test case. Okay, you can see, yeah, so today I installed the latest version of Cypress. So they have given this nice folder specification as well from where you are running your test. So this is the cool again new functionality they have provided. So you can see our test case, we have visited this localhost and then we request some data from backend, and then we are trying to find out this new.to do, and then footer we are trying to identify, and then we are expecting some h1 tag to contains to do app, but which is not present there. So that's why assertion is failing. So yeah, so this is the first test case. So coming back to our original agenda. Yeah, so this one, yeah, just a second. Let me open that. Yeah, package.json. So this was the test we have gone through, right? And then quickly, I will just work with the package.json. So script tags, I have just talked about. Then you can see this is how start npm start server, which we are utilizing, how it is starting in the background. And these are the basics. That you can see all the dev dependencies are present here. So currently I'm using 4.5.0 version of Cypress, and all the latest dependencies are available in this package.json. So then quickly spec.js, like Cypress trying to visit that localhost application, which is present here. You can see localhost 3000, and then it's trying to find out this through this get command. You can see this beautiful documentation which is present on your screen, and with the help of this dot new to do, and that trying to get the footer data. And as you can see, passing assertion, and this assertion fails on purpose. Can you fix it? So like Cypress guys, as part of this workshop, they has purposely failed this assertion. So we will gonna fix this. Okay, and then again the second task is like, can you write cy.contains using regular expression? Okay, and the last part, I think the most important part of today's lecture would be the best practices which we should use while working on even any kind of framework, like basically data test IDs. So that is currently, I can say, very popular among industry. So usually we do not anymore depends on the classes and IDs which are generated by HTML itself or by the dev teams. So you guys can add your data test IDs by their own. So I'll kind of add all the data test IDs in this index.html, and I'll walk you through how you can easily add your data test IDs in your day-to-day work. So before that, we have two topics again. So that, yeah, folder structure and these two commands. Yeah, okay. So again, if I talk about folder structure, so let me go back to the documentation. Yeah, this is the link. You can see just a second. So, so yeah, folder structure. You can see this beautiful documentation of Cypress guys. So folder structure is something like how you guys organize your test and support your all the basic files. So if I quickly go back to the VS Code and collapse all these cycles and then these different folder structures. So you can see whenever anybody trying to use Cypress, so Cypress guys have already given you the basic skeleton of folder structure. So we do not need to explicitly modify this until unless it's really required. So we have a they have given us the capacity to configure this folder structure as well. So basically, you can see there are multiple directories like fixtures, integrations, plugins, screenshots, supports, and videos. So if I go into this fixtures, so basically fixtures are something like where you keep all your mark data, right? So mock data is something like any kind of static data that can be used or leveraged in our test. So and you can see this two already JSON files. So these are the dummy data, I can say, which we use in our test on daily basis. And like mostly I personally use when kind of like dummy network calls we need to leverage in our API testing and the test data like in lower environments like QA and staging or UAT where we need to run the test cases so this way. And moving to the next item is like integration. So this is the most important, I can say. So where you keep all your test cases. So you can see as part of this workshops, they have beautifully organized these workshops, guys, like basic test, then adding items, then setup playground, reset, etc. So all these components, and then plugins. So this is the important stuff. Plugins is like basically like they have given us uh, the kind of configurations, so which automatically runs before every single spec file. Whenever any spec file you will run, so this is the configuration. So very it's like purely as a convenience mechanism, we can say. We do not need to import any kind of files. Every single files to run as a spec file. And finally, like all kind of I can say whatever plugins we want to extend, so we can leverage in this directory. So you can see if already you can see all the DB configurations are been done in this Cypress testing workshops. And then moving to the next one is like screenshots, so where you'll see all kind of screenshots whenever your test case failed, so all kind of screenshots will automatically be generated here. So this is the one of the most important factor we can say in Cypress. Like usually in other tools we have to depend on some third-party libraries, and here Cypress guys have already built-in profiles. And then again video. So here along these screenshots you can see all kind of video support as well. Yeah. Entire run video you will get, and in support files is kind of a like I can say automatically include all supports in this file. So this file is again I can say run before each test. So whenever you need any configuration, so you can again leverage this like kind of a basic hooks which is we need to present or whenever we want, so we can again reuse these utils or reset or hooks. So this was the folder structure. So again, let me just go back, and you can see this is the beautiful documentation, and you can see the support file. Yeah, so you can see initially the support file is a great place to put reusable behavior such as custom commands or global overrides that you want applied and available to all of your spec files. So basically, like in before each, after each kind of hooks which we leverage in our test ng, or I can say cucumber hooks. You can kind of a we can I think trying to match with those functionalities. Yeah. So next item on today's list would be yeah. There are two ways through which we can invoke the Cypress. Yes. So contains. Yeah, we'll come back to this. Okay, fix the test. Yeah, we'll fix this test. So yeah, so you can see in guides there is a command line option, and this is the command. Yeah, so Cypress run and Cypress open. So basically there are two ways to run the Cypress. So this was the, again, if I just close this browser and dashboard and trying to run our first test, which is kind of a, okay, let me just close all these unwanted tabs and keep all three tabs only, two tabs only. Let's save. Yes, this is the index and this is our test cases. Okay, again, just clear the dashboard, and this is the Cypress open command. So open and run, basic difference, what I can say is like open, whenever we use open command, so it means you can see the dashboard of Cypress, and you can have access like which particular command, which particular spec file you want to execute. And Cypress run is something like we are trying to run test cases in the kind of headless mode. So if like a spec file, if I run, so again I purposely fail. We have to refactor this. Yeah. So okay, yeah, it started the test. It's expecting to-dos app, but which is not present in the application. And if I go back to this, this was the Cypress open command. So you can see options passed to Cypress open will automatically be applied to the project when you open. So this is kind of a global object. You can see these persist on all projects until you quit the Cypress test runner. So this is the Cypress test runner, right? This is the Cypress test runner. So, and these options will always override the values in configuration. So if I want to override any values, like right now we just run the test in I can say in, I think, Electron browser is the default browser. Yes. So if I want to run test case in Chrome browser, so I can use hyphen browser hyphen browser name, and I can specify the configurations, detached mode, environment variables I can specify in this command, and project path, kind of like Cypress open browser, and you can see Cypress. So this is the run command. So if you want to see what is the configuration, you want to change the configurations, So suppose right now configuration, if I go back to this settings and I can see uh, page load timeout should be somewhere, page load timeout, yeah, somewhere in this 60000. Okay, and I can if I try to copy this command and just try this one, and yeah, so Cypress run as my config page load timeout should be this much of amount. So it should set the Cypress configuration with this latest configuration, so it can override the default configuration which was present, which we saw in our Cypress test. And yeah, so there are multiple options. Let's see how much time it will take. Okay. So meanwhile, I think we can go back. So in Cypress run, you can see all these Cypress run options. Again, hyphen browser, you can change the browser on the go. We can change the configuration, we can change the build pipelines, we can change the environment groups, we can even change the modes in, on the go, like whether you want to run in edit mode, like you want to see actual browser open or not, and whether you want to specifically run test in headless. There are multiple options like parallel. You can see you can even override your default ports. Like our application is running on 3000 port, so you can even override this port on the go. You can even record your test tags. So there are multiple options, like you can see Cypress run hyphen browser and Chrome. This way it will run in Chrome. And you can see build number, you can give again config which we just tried. You can even change the Cypress configuration on the go environment with variables. So this way there are a lot of configurations available. So I must say you should have a look on this awesome documentation of Cypress. So if I go back, I'm not sure what's happening. Let me just terminate this one. Again, try to run Cypress, run browser Chrome. Okay, I got it. And that's what sometimes happens. Yes, npm run, and that's why this command isn't. Oh, sorry again. Okay, just a second. Bear with me. npm. Okay. Yeah, because oh, it is giving me that error. Okay, Cypress npm run Cypress my package.json. Just a second. So this is how we should not worried about any errors whenever it comes to our way. So again, just let me just check what is exactly written in package.json. Package.json says npm cy run. Okay, that's why. Okay, let me just go back to bigger maximum. view. So npm cypress cy run, then hyphen again. Just a second, let me just check my npm run cy run hyphen browser chrome. Yeah, so it's running under Chrome. So you can see it's trying to run the test cases. It should invoke the Chrome browser and start executing the test cases. So this is still a headed mode. So whenever until unless you specifically give the mode as headless, so that like by default it's headed mode. So you can see test case run execution has been started. You can see running. Yes, running the okay. I have to. I should have given the specific spec file, so that's fine. I'll just close the test in between. You can see. Okay, H1, but okay, again that H1 was failing. Yes, so you can see that was the expected error. We have purposely failed our test cases. Yes, so this is, you can see this is the beautiful results what it is they have provided, and you can see screenshots, path Cypress, testing workshop Cypress, screenshot, even how beautiful the way they have organized everything. So we do not need to worry like in any kind of stuff. Like again, the videos part, you can see it started processing, compressing to 32 CRF and in MP4. Uh, that's why I love Cypress. Again, it's starting the second test, which is not the agenda of today. So let me just quickly close this one. You can see. So this was the we were talking about Cypress run and open. There are two ways. So I think there are multiple options. So I must say you should try all the options. And if you face any errors, so we can discuss in our retester channel. And yeah, so open we have covered. Okay. Okay, so this is the proxy stuff, so I'll come back to with again video. So now I think let's go back to our original agenda of this test cases, how to refactor that test case finally. After, so yeah, so you can see if I just to run again this test case. Yes, open and see what it contains to do app. Okay, let me just quickly inspect. Close the stuff and just quickly inspect. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. What is the footer value? Yes. Okay, it's loading. H1 tag. Okay, H1 tag is expecting. So I can see H1. Just a second. Okay. Section is meant to do. Okay, there is a UL list and li and div input label button. Okay, don't find H1. Okay, and this there it is H1 tag. Okay, you can see data CY is okay. Data test ID is already given in this. So this is the app title, and what we have written here is this was session is specify to do apps. Okay, and here we have to dos. So that's the stuff. So if I just copy paste this, we save this, so you can see our test is automatically restart and it pass. Yes, so you can see green tick. Our test case is pass. Yeah, okay, this is some prettier stuff. So I'll just quickly fix this. Okay, as soon as you see, and it's like auto refresh whenever you save any changes. So it's kind of like usually we have seen our devs guys whenever they work in local, they just refresh. So that's the power of Cypress. You can just quickly, you don't need to run the entire test again. It's just reload your test quickly in the test runner. Okay, then I think there was again some task in this workshop. You can see it's expecting us to, can you write CY contains using a regular expression? Okay, so let me just quickly comment this one and try to write CY dot contains and okay, H1 tag and regular expression. Okay, tilde style I give to-dos and dollar. I think this should work. Let me just again resave and see again it's gonna restart, and yes, it's expecting and our regular expression is working. So that's how you can refactor your test, and you can see again this prettier issue I encountered. So I just quickly fix for today, and I can fix this. So as I was saying, you can see they have given this beautiful link of documentation where you can see all the best practices. Let me just copy and go back to this. Yeah, so selecting elements. So basically, in most of the cases, we leverage the as it's based on jQuery. So most of the time, you are gonna use I can say CSS allocators, but we have capability to use XPath as well. But I must say we should always use either cy.contains. This is also they have given green tick, much better, but still coupled to text content that may change. Yes, so this submit button sometimes can be any click OK button or something like else. So developer can anytime change this text. So we have to again come back to our test and refactor our test in automation. And so you can see again, this is the best practice. See data.cy. So visually, I call this as data test ID, which anybody can write in your HTML. So if I quickly go back and I can like give you the idea how you can rewrite your this data dot new to do, which we just yeah, okay, yeah. So this is the HTML. So from where I get this, so let me just give you idea. So in to do, this was the to do app, right, on which we are working. So you can see this is the index.html. So if I just see, so this was the h1 tag which we have seen in our inspect console elements. and you can see already data.cy is app title to do's, right? And again, if you can see this is the class new to do. So again, this data.cy equal to again the same class. You can always copy this same name. So do not need to give any fancy names here. You can just copy the similar class. Yes. And yeah. So if I just end and if I go back to our spec file, so now rather than going with this way, is that cy dot contains and data.cy equals to add title like what are the to-dos, and if I just put some assertion as well, should be dot visible. Okay, so if I just comment this out and let's see again, we save and see our test case. That's excellent. Our test case expectation is passed. H1 is visible. So that's how I think we can leverage the power of verification assertions of Mocha and Chai in this Cypress. And I think that's it for today's episode. And I hope you like the episode. If you have any comments and questions, so we are open for that. And I think you can subscribe the channel and like the videos if you really like that. And thank you very much. See you in I think next week with some again the next kind of uh, plan. So yeah, guys, thank you very much.